Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the stupidest decisions made by heroes across movies, TV shows, and comic books. Some spoilers may be ahead, so consider this your warning.
This could have been avoided if you hadn't played with something you don't understand.
Number 20, leaving the ammo bag in the cab. Deadpool. Deadpool's a lovable merc, but he's also quite a screw-up. It might sound a little harsh, but honestly, he'd probably agree with us too. One scene in particular from the first Deadpool highlights his failure to prepare. When the trio of him, Negasonic Teenage Warhead, and Colossus all prepare for the final showdown, Deadpool realizes his mistake.
But I got such a good heart that
Where's your duffel bag?
The bags of ammo that would have helped him out were accidentally left by Deadpool back in Doppler's taxi. We're not trained mercenaries, but we have a feeling that you're not supposed to forget your supplies. While the gang was able to quickly improvise later, things probably could have gone a lot smoother if Deadpool hadn't goofed up.
You're gonna do a superhero landing. Wait for it. Woo! Superhero landing. Yeah, that's really hard on your knees.
Number 19, playing baseball as the Hulk. The Incredible Hulk, number 435. Even the Incredible Hulk can't help but love America's favorite pastime. During issue 435 of the Incredible Hulk comic, Hulk decides to play in the minor leagues as part of the Pistols. While a change of scenery is always nice, we can't exactly consider this a smart decision. Since Hulk's usually on the run, a freakishly strong guy playing baseball doesn't sound inconspicuous.
Look out!
And sure enough, Hulk later gets into a skirmish with a bad guy that results in massive destruction. His bonehead decision not only harmed himself, but put others at risk. Maybe next time just stick to watching sports instead of playing them. Number 18, Batman sacrifices himself for no reason. The Flash. Getting to see Michael Keaton reprise his role as Batman decades later in The Flash was awesome. How he went out though? Not so awesome. In the final fight against Zod's Kryptonian army, Batman decides to do whatever he can to destroy the main ship. That means he sacrifices himself by flying the Batplane right into it.
Bruce! Eject! Bruce, just eject!
It could have been an emotional moment if, it actually did anything. Barely any real damage was done to the ship thanks to its advanced technology, so this sacrifice ultimately just ended up doing nothing in the long run. In fact, it just hindered them more since the team was now down another member. Looks like Batman finally decided to get nuts.
You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Number 17, trying to rebuild Coast City. Green Lantern, Emerald Twilight. Emerald Twilight marks the turning point for Hal Jordan. Following Cyborg Superman and Mongo's destruction of Coast City, Hal Jordan seeks to recreate all of Coast City with his ring.
Others were lost, wiped from the ship's memory. Metropolis, Coast City.
But we can still save them, right? Carol? My family?
We can sympathize with Hal over the pain he felt due to the loss of his entire city. But this was still a pretty reckless abuse of his power. And when the Guardians of OA step in, Hal flies off the rails. He soon murders the rest of the Green Lantern Corps and becomes the villain Parallax. Yeah, it's kind of hard to bounce back from that.
Even after you bailed on the Guardians to join the Sinestro Corps?
The Guardians locked me up. But they also trained me to overcome my fears. I earned the second chance they gave me.
Number 16, Superman fights Batman for no reason. Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. The dynamic of superheroes fighting each other upon a first meeting only to soon team up is a somewhat tired trope. Arguably, the most glaring example of this cliche can be found in Batman v Superman. When the Man of Steel finally encounters the Dark Knight, tensions quickly mount.
Consider this mercy.
Tell me. Do you bleed?
But the thing is that it all really could have been avoided. Since Superman knew Lex Luthor was pulling all of the strings, he could have easily let Batman know at any point. But instead, he goes through with an entire brawl and, while certainly cool, was totally avoidable. Maybe he should have just done the whole save Martha bit at the start and saved everyone some time.
Why did you say that name? Martha, why did you say that name?
Stop! Please, stop!
Why did you say that name?
It's his mother's name!
Number 15, getting teenage Tony Stark to fight his rogue self. Avengers: The Crossing. Avengers: The Crossing is infamous to comic book fans as a shining example of throwing stuff to the wall and seeing what sticks. The storyline involves the Avengers discovering that Iron Man is actually now a murderous bad guy working for Kang.
Okay, now I care who you are.
Your armor is amusing. Primitive, but amusing.
While that's incredibly dumb on its own, how the Avengers react is dumb as well. Through a lot of time travel shenanigans, they recruit a young Tony Stark to fight the evil one. But their plan's not quite rock solid, as the teenage Tony gets taken out of the equation. It shouldn't take a genius to figure out that this time travel plot was a giant waste of time.
Activate time circuits, now.
You will pay for this.
Number 14, mind-wiping Batman, Identity Crisis. Near the end of the absolutely disturbing events that unfold during Identity Crisis, the Justice League decide to erase the mind of the main villain, Dr. Light. But they didn't just stop there. When Batman caught wind of the decision to alter Light's mind, Zatanna then altered Batman's as well.
A compulsion spell. Patsy.
He thought we should have a backup plan in case everything went wrong.
He'd eventually find out, and he was definitely not happy. This gross misuse of her power fractured Batman and Zatanna's friendship. Not only that, it also damaged Batman's relationship with the rest of the League. It eventually snowballed into his decision to create Brother Eye, which would in turn lead to Infinite Crisis. No matter how powerful you might think you are, you should know that you can't get away with messing with Batman.
Go to hell.
Number 13, Star-Lord attacking Thanos, Avengers: Infinity War. When the heroes have Thanos briefly subdued on Titan, they have a chance to get the Infinity Gauntlet away from him and end the chaos before it starts. But when Star-Lord learns that Thanos killed Gamora, he attacks the Mad Titan, which gives him a chance to escape.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you didn't!
Star-Lord was right to feel upset, but this wasn't the way to handle things. You could make an argument that everything that happened in Infinity War needed to happen, but it's still hard to call what Star-Lord did a smart choice.
Did we just lose?
His failure to separate his feelings from the task at hand cost our heroes half the entire universe. Number 12, the Illuminati sending Hulk into exile. The Incredible Hulk number 91 through 112. Longtime friendships were forever broken when a secret network of heroes called the Illuminati exiled the Hulk into outer space.
We had no choice. When you get angry, Bruce, when you're overcome by rage, you are a force of destruction.
The moment from the Incredible Hulk comics is infamous for leading into the iconic Planet Hulk and subsequent World War Hulk storylines. It's also infamous for being one of the most incredibly stupid decisions ever made in the Marvel Universe. You know, for a group of highly intelligent individuals, it's crazy how they didn't think pissing off a monster fueled by rage would come back to bite them. When Hulk arrived back on Earth during World War Hulk, he nearly destroyed the world. It's true that Hulk can be incredibly dangerous, but he's a force you always want on your side, not against.
Exiled by the creatures who live there, they feared his power. But here, that power was used to strike down evil.
Number 11, fighting over hope, Avengers vs. X-Men. In this 2012 Marvel Comics crossover event, the Phoenix Force is on its way to Earth to take Hope Summers as its host. The X-Men believe that she and the Phoenix could restore the dying mutant race, while the Avengers believe the Phoenix would bring about the end of the world.
Get out of my head!
Perhaps you should listen to her, Charles.
You must trust me. You're a danger to everyone and yourself, but I can help you.
Rather than finding a middle ground, the two teams battle it out until the Phoenix Force arrives, splits apart, bonds with Cyclops and 4 other mutants, and forms the Phoenix Five. Oh, it gets worse. Cyclops kills Xavier while under the Phoenix influence. Though the story ends on a happy-ish note, Professor X's death could have been avoided had the Avengers just not interfered. Number 10, sending Jean Loring to Arkham Asylum, Identity Crisis. Now, DC's Identity Crisis has plenty of moronic moments to spare, but this one takes the cake. The elongated man's wife Sue is mysteriously murdered, and the Justice League somehow can't solve the case.
How else can we stop them? You're the smart one. You figure it out. We can't do it. Not unless we cross some kind of line.
The culprit is ultimately revealed to be Jean Loring, the ex-wife of Ray Palmer, aka the Atom. Jean didn't intend to kill Sue. It was all just a confusing plan to get Ray back that ultimately backfired. Ray declares her insane and ships her off to Arkham Asylum, where she later finds a black diamond that turns her into the cosmic evil force Eclipso. But what did Ray expect? Nothing good comes from sending people to Arkham.
We need to see one of the inmates.
Why, certainly, Superman. Right this way.
Number 9, Rorschach, refusing to compromise. Watchmen. In the final issue of Watchmen, the vigilantes have discovered the man responsible for the central mystery, Ozymandias. It turns out the giant alien squid destroying New York and killing millions was part of his insane plan to try and bring about world peace.
I had to trick it for the greatest practical joke in human history.
Killing millions.
To save billions.
He makes the others keep his plan a secret, but Rorschach refuses to concede. Rorschach's black and white view of justice doesn't let him see the bigger picture, and he'll never compromise even in the face of death.
Out of my way. People have to be told. You know I can't let you do that.
He could have lied and said he was going to go along with it, but that's not Rorschach's style. Instead, he threatens to tell the world about the conspiracy, and Dr. Manhattan vaporizes him. Number 8, working with Magneto, X2, X-Men United.
It's a dorky looking helmet. What's it for?
This dorky-looking helmet is the only thing that's going to protect me from the real bad guys.
In the comics, Magneto has proven time and time again that he's not exactly trustworthy. But in the movies, the X-Men had to learn this lesson the hard way. In the first X-Men film, he was the big bad, fighting for mutant supremacy against Professor X's dream of harmony. In X2, Magneto allies himself with the X-Men to thwart a genocidal maniac from using Cerebro to kill all mutants, but then turns on them and tries to use it to kill all humans instead.
From here, it doesn't look like they're playing by your rules. Maybe it's time to play by theirs.
Magneto will rise to the occasion when mutant kind's at stake, but he's suffered too many hardships to show concern for humanity, and the X-Men should know that by now. Number 7, Spider-Man revealing his identity, Civil War. During the events of Marvel Comics storyline Civil War, Tony Stark convinces Spider-Man to unmask himself as Peter Parker to show his support for the Registration Act.
Governments around the world launch investigations into the murderer known as Spider-Man, aka Peter Parker, aka the web-headed war criminal.
After consulting with his family, Peter reveals himself to the world and puts a giant target on his back. As a result, Aunt May is shot and killed.
Me? Me?
Instead of letting his aunt go peacefully, Peter makes a deal with the villainous Mephisto. He'll let Aunt May live if Peter gives up his marriage to Mary Jane. The unmasking is reversed, but for all his talk about great responsibility, this has to be one of the least responsible moves Spider-Man or anyone else has ever pulled. Number 6, challenging the Mandarin, Iron Man 3.
Here's my home address, 10880 Malibu Point, 90265. I'll leave the door unlocked.
For a genius billionaire playboy philanthropist, Tony Stark's ego can lead him into some pretty stupid decisions. America is under the threat of the mysterious terrorist known as the Mandarin, but Tony isn't bowing to him just yet. In an act of defiance, Tony challenges the Mandarin by publicly announcing the address of his Malibu mansion.
We are leaving the house. That's not even up for discussion.
Can we,
What?
do we need to worry about that?
He's practically inviting the Mandarin to come blow up his home, which is exactly what happens. While it turns out later that the Mandarin is a big hoax, it goes to show how an oversized ego can lead to some idiotic and risky decisions. Number 5. Trusting Loki, Thor: The Dark World. Since his debut in the first Thor movie, Loki has been a recurring foe in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, constantly looking to seize power and manipulating others to help achieve that goal. In Thor: The Dark World, Loki is offered a chance at redemption when Thor recruits him to help fight the Dark Elves.
You betray me, and I will kill you.
When do we start?
Though they can't stand each other, their brotherly bond really shines through right up to the end when Loki sacrifices himself to save Thor. However, the god of mischief still has some tricks up his sleeves. Turns out he faked his death and assumed the guise of his missing father, usurping the throne as king of Asgard, all thanks to Thor. Oops.
No. Thank you.
Number 4. Drunkenly testing a teleportation machine. Fantastic Four.
Look, I don't know about you guys, but I could use some. You want a drink? Ethanol kills brain cells.
2015's Fantastic Four has a lot of dumb ideas in it, and this is no exception. Reed Richards has been brought into the Baxter Foundation to help build a teleportation machine alongside Johnny Storm, Sue Storm, and Victor Von Doom. The boys are hoping to be chosen as the first humans to test it, but no such luck. So, like the geniuses they are, they get drunk and drag Reed's friend into a testing machine that takes them to another dimension.
You guys sure you're in the best shape to be doing this? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We're good.
The New World's terrain starts to collapse. Victor falls to his supposed death, but the others escape. However, the machine's explosion grants them and Sue superhuman abilities. Booze and science don't mix. Number 3, creating Ultron. Avengers number 58 and Avengers Age of Ultron.
Everyone creates the thing they dread. Men of peace create engines of war. Invaders create Avengers.
Ultron is one of the Avengers' most dangerous foes. A sentient machine with mind-controlling abilities, supreme intelligence, and near immortality. But the most terrifying thing about him, it was the good guys that created him. In the comics, Hank Pym creates Ultron 1 using his own brainwaves while experimenting with artificial intelligence. However, it uses said intelligence to try to end humanity. In the Age of Ultron film, Tony Stark and Bruce Banner creates Ultron as a peacekeeping project. But its idea of peace also involves humanity's extinction.
But you don't get why we need this.
Tony, maybe this might not be the time.
Really? That's it. You just roll over, show your belly every time somebody snarls.
Only when I've created a murder bot.
Although the movie version of Ultron is destroyed, the struggle leaves deep scars on the team. Both scenarios show how even the best intentions can accidentally create your own worst enemy. Number 2, not killing the Joker, Batman.
Bruce, I forgive you for not saving me. But why? Why on God's earth? Is he still alive?
Despite being a breeding ground for criminal psychopaths, Gotham isn't very keen on the death penalty, even in the case of killer clowns. The Joker has committed some insidious deeds over the years, torturing heroes, murdering innocent citizens, and leaving more than a few scars on the Bat family. And yet, even after everything he's done, Batman can't bring himself to kill the clown. It's not that Batman doesn't dream of ending the Clown Prince of Crime's reign of terror, but Batman's moral code won't let him sink to that level.
I think you and I are destined to do this forever. You'll be in a better jail forever. Maybe we could share one.
And as a result, the citizens of Gotham will continue to suffer because Batman doesn't want to break the rules.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, creating Flashpoint, The Flash. Barry Allen's decision to go back in time and prevent his mother's death ended up having major ripple effects across the DCEU. Sure, he didn't know his choice would lead to a world where nearly all superheroes were gone, but he was still warned about the ramifications of time travel.
Barry, if you were to go into the past, any interaction you had with your parents or yourself, you step on the wrong blade of grass, you have no idea what the consequences to that could be.
So his insistence to go back in time anyway ended up resulting in a chaotic mess of a timeline that nearly killed him. Not only that, this timeline allowed General Zod to launch a far more successful invasion of Earth than the one he attempted in Man of Steel.
In my world, Superman showed up right away when Zod called him out. So as of now, we're in uncharted territory. What I do know is that Zod somehow controls the world engines, which will be destroying much more than just Metropolis now.
The ability to change the past may be tempting, but as this showed, it could have grim consequences. What do you think is a hero's biggest blunder? Let us know in the comments down below.
I know sex exists, I've just never experienced it.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.